Hey there guys, and welcome back. Got a Q&A video answering the couple questions I got on that video I made to post the questions there. So I mean, if you guys like this, I'll be making another one. Probably make another video for you guys to post your questions on. And yeah, we'll get right into this week. First up we got Abdulaziz Al-Khamis. I probably butchered that, but yeah, you got the Modern Warfare 2 icon there. See that? That's pretty cool, because Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2, those are my two favorite Call of Duty games. Those were so much fun, and I sank so many hours into that I would never take back. But then we got, will you play Gwen from your phone if the game is available to do so? I might try it. I mean, I wouldn't play it hardcore. I tried Hearthstone on the phone when I was really big into that, so I mean, I just played it for like the first day, and then it just doesn't feel right playing it on the phone and the screen's so small. Like it being able to relax more and play it on a bigger screen. So probably just test it out and then never play it again and delete it a month later when I realize I haven't played it since the first day and need the space. So overall, sorta, but no. I mean, some people really like the mobile thing, so it'll be good if it comes out for the phone, because that'll definitely help, because I mean, with other games, when they come out with a mobile release, it increases the player base a lot. Then next we got Son of Go Fork Yourself. Loving the content. Keep up the good work. I'm loving your name. I'll try to leave a few questions. I'm seeing this question a lot, and if you could see something brought back that used to be in Gwen, what would it be? Favorite card, faction, archetype, whatever. I'll answer both these, but for the first one, I would definitely bring back Skellig. Skellig, if you guys have heard me say in long videos ago, was my favorite faction. It was so unique, and there were so many things you could do with Skellig. It was so much fun, and they've just killed it to the point where not even Sigdrifa can bring that back from the grave. But, I mean, yeah, I'd definitely bring back Skellig. Probably Queen's Guard, because Queen's Guard was really fun, setting it up with, like, Dragmondo and stuff, and then playing out big tempo plays like that was really fun. And yeah, setting that up throughout multiple turns, and then running the risk of your opponent playing monsters, and then they just, like, play Caretaker or Catacon and shut you down. But that was definitely one of the more fun decks that I had fun with. That and Veterans, which I don't even know what's up with Veterans anymore. Like, why did they remove the Soldier tag from Clan Tursek Veterans and the Veteran tag from all the Clan Tursek cards? Like, you can't even get value out of it anymore. The Veteran tag was really cool with how it boosted every turn, and then the Clan Tursek Veteran sitting there polishing a sword. Like, what is he? He's not a soldier. What is he the veteran of? The veteran of their sword polishing? Like, he's just their little guy who keeps all their equipment up. I don't know, but I'd probably, and if I could bring back like a card text, it'd probably be the trio effect. I really liked the trio effect. They had a couple cool things with like the Blue Stripe Scouts, the Reaver Hunters, but I mean the Reaver Hunters were totally busted when they had the trio effect of doing like half the damage of one of your opponent's cards and just bringing it down by half. That was pretty busted, along with boosting themselves up so much. But I mean, like, with the Wild Hunt Riders, those guys were awesome with their trio effect and trying to make a deck work like with that. I actually did a deck profile on one of them, and it was Wild Hunt Riders with Necker Warriors and stuff, and because like it had the trio effect where if you had 3 of them out, they'd all boost themselves by 1 every turn. Of course, it'd line you up for a really nice Igni, or somebody would move 1 away, and then you'd lose the trio effect. But if you ran, like, a bunch of Wild Hunt Navigators, Uridan, and, like, Necker Warriors, you could just filter out a lot of them, and they usually wouldn't be able to shut them down. It wasn't competitive at all, but it was really fun, and kind of funny in some of the matchups, because nobody saw it coming, because nobody really ran them since you had to have them all in the line. But, I mean, yeah, the trio effect was really cool. I really liked that. I would definitely bring that back. And as far as overall in Gwen, I would bring back Control and Engine decks, because right now it's just a tempo meta. But maybe after the balance changes, that'll change, because I'm not really liking where the meta's at right now. But we'll have to see after they do the hotfixes and everything. I have hope. And then he also asked, what deck would you recommend for grinding your way up the ladder? I assume the answer is probably Dwarfs, so if you want to go further, what other deck would you recommend ranking up with? Yeah, Dwarfs. Dwarfs is definitely the answer, because they're so consistent, and they're so good, and like Ithilien and Everith are pretty crazy. Some people say Everith isn't so crazy, but I mean, it's hard to play around in Everith unless you have a stutter deck, which I might go into tips of how to play against an Everith in another video, but yeah, definitely Dwarfs. They're consistent. You can pretty much make anything with Skellig and make it work, at least decently well. And if it was another deck, I'll give you one for each faction. For Nilfgaard, I'd probably go Alchemy, because that deck's really good, and the only thing that really counters it is Dwarfs. But, I mean, you can still beat Dwarfs sometimes with Alchemy, just not all the time. But, I mean, against other deck types, with slave drivers and stuff, you can just shut down decks completely with them. And, yes, so Alchemy for Nilfgaard. For monsters, definitely Consume. Consume is one of the best archetypes out there, just because it counters Dwarfs so well is one of the reasons. And another reason is that it produces a lot of points if you play it right. Only thing you have to watch out for with them is Nilfgaard, and if they Swears your Neckers, you're really unhappy then, but they can still work out. And then for Northern Realms, Armor deck for sure. It kind of sucks when slave drivers start taking your stuff, but I mean, hey, you gotta, that's just something that happens. But Armor's really fun. Armor's pretty good too, and can do really well against Dwarfs, since they use their 3 damage people, and if you have a bunch of armor out, then their armor is going to soak up most of the damage, even if like they're just hitting your aspirants, because then you can reapply the armor with things like the Thunderbolt Potion, and or whatever it's called now, since they change the names of stuff every patch. But the one that gives you 3 power on each guy, 3 units and 2 armor, or 3 armor, and that can work out really well for soaking up a lot of that damage. Plus you'll get the 2 boost for the turn that you do it on. For Skellig, I'd suggest just don't play Skellig. Honestly, like, Skellige's just horrible right now, and you can't make anything work. They like took key cards away from every single faction of Skellig, and now you can pretty much run Axemen or Bears if you really, really, really want to run Skellig, and it's not even that good. Bears are producing alright points, and when you restore a bear and you get, a 19 power silver technically, or if you do it in round 2, then you get a 19 power, 20 power bronze. That's an alright combo. I mean, it's just alright, and like other decks can be more consistent and pump out more points. And Axemen, they counter Dwarfs, yes, but if they RNG out a Weather Clear, you're just like, oh, well, that sucks. That was a good game. And then they Everith you, and that hurts. So Skellig's in a really bad spot. And you can't make an engine archetype with Skellig, because if you try to run the long ships and stuff, then Alchemy Nilfgaard, which is pretty popular, is just going to steal almost Slave Driver and kill him off with their Viper School Witcher, and you're not going to have a chance to win at all. So run anything but Skellig, those other types I'd suggest. The next we got the BenC. I am playing a slave driver versus slave driver game right now. I have every row filled with slave drivers. It's nuts. Well, BenC, I platonically love you, but yeah, you triggered me as slave driver. I hate that card. Why did they come out with that card? Oh my god. I want that card to burn, and I want it gone out of the game. If I could remove one card out of the game, definitely slave driver or Everith, or Isengrim, I mean. Yeah, and that's not a question, but I thought I'd put it in here because you put the comment on the video, so yeah, and you've been here a while. Then next we got Rory Mercury. Oh, I see a Gate fan here. You don't have a picture of her in your little profile, but Rory Mercury is definitely awesome. Only reason why I watched some of that show. But anyway, how many card games have you played? Whew. Well, this is probably going to be the longest part of the video, so I mean, I'll probably leave a little timestamp, or this is like the second to last question. The last one's I sort of already answered, so yeah, I'll leave a little annotation if you want to skip this, if you don't want to listen to me gush about other card games that aren't Gwent, because I've played a lot and I really like some of them. So I actually had to make a list here. But for actual paper card games that I've played, and we'll go to the competitive ones first. For the competitive ones where I actually went to like bigger tournaments and stuff, that was Yu-Gi-Oh! Because pretty much everyone played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in my day. Magic the Gathering. I mean, everyone, everyone who's big into like trading the paper trading card games have pretty much at least tried Magic the Gathering. So yeah, I played that a bit. I haven't played it much recently, a little bit. And then the one that I probably played the most, and I mean went to the most tournaments for and stuff, was actually the Naruto card game. I still have a t-shirt and stuff from one of the ones that I won, but that card game was awesome. And for the big tournaments, I'll probably do like a story time videos about the crazy stuff that's happened at tournaments. But yeah, Naruto was actually really unique card game and really fun. And one of the first card games that I saw actually start making me hate it from RNG, with things like the Wind deck that was pretty crazy with Gaara and his dual Sand Blade and Sand Tomb and stuff that just, like, if they got heads, it absolutely wrecked you if you didn't have a response jutsu for them. But besides that, Naruto was really cool because, like, you had to try to get like 10 battle points from your opponent's village, and you'd take them from your opponent's deck. Like when you got a battle point, which I'm not going to go into the whole thing of how you got those, but you took them from the top of their deck, so you were actually taking cards that they built their deck around from them if you got battle points, and it really messed with like how the game went and stuff, and it was really cool, kind of mechanics and stuff, and yeah, that was really fun. Then I also, non-competitively, just like with my friends and stuff, I played Hack Enemy, because I picked that up really cheap, like booster, like I think I picked up like 3 booster boxes at one tournament for like $30, which was really cheap because they were just trying to get rid of them, because it was an older card game at that time, so I played that. Then Duel Masters, which was pretty fun, and I mean pretty big in that time, and I didn't go competitive with it or anything, but I did have some fun playing it. Then World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was actually interesting because they had like these dungeon decks where you actually fight like a big boss and stuff, and they actually had like legendary cards that could get you items in the game. Granted, I never played the game much. I think I got like level 30 once, and I just got really bored of running around as a sexy blood elf named Pain or whatever, the equivalent of edgelord back then. So World of Warcraft, that one was pretty fun, especially like the dungeon type thing where you weren't really playing against another person, you were playing against a big boss deck, and you actually had like your friends with you. Then Yu Yu Hakusho, my one friend was really big into that, so I played that with him a lot. Weiss Schwarz, I collected that for a bit because it's basically every anime in a card game, but the card game's really, really, really simple and like not much going on in it, so it got really boring really quick. It's actually still going, just probably because it has anime cards. But then Shaman King was awesome. Didn't really take off or anything, but it did have 3 rows like Gwent, except like you did this battle power on the front row, and then you move to the back row, and you move to the back row, and if you made it all the way to the back row, then you got a point, and it sort of played like tennis. That was really cool. Dragon Ball Z, there's nothing really special about that, but it was alright. Bleach was like one of my favorite anime when I was younger, so of course I collected the cards, and I really liked that card game. Then Pokemon, I mean, I was a child, so Pokemon, like, everyone probably played Pokemon when they were a kid, and I never played it the right way, probably. I just had Pokemon that I summoned, and yeah, we had fun with. Then Digimon was actually really cool, one of the first ones I played correctly, and yeah, I always liked Digimon more than Pokemon. Then Full Metal Alchemist, I played that because my friend absolutely loves Full Metal Alchemist. I never really got into it, but the card game was alright, so I mean, he had the cards, so I'd play with him because, you know, nobody really played cards, but he knew that I'd play any card game. Then we got One Piece, same friend actually, he really likes One Piece. I hate One Piece, but the card game was really unique actually. Like, you had like this treasure and stuff in like 3 different battle zones, where you try to fight with like leader cards from the show and stuff, so that was pretty cool. As far as online card games go that I've played, I'm not going to include things like Urban Rivals or Arden Arena and stuff that are just really, really simple games with like usually only 5 cards or 3 cards that are automatically there, just sort of battle each other. So, I mean, I won't include things like that, but ones that were actually like CCG card game type online games. I played The Eye of Judgment. That was one of my first online card games, which was actually for the PS3 with iToy, and then like you play the card on the field mat that you got, and then it actually summon it on the screen, and that was like super cool and one of the coolest. I was so excited when I got that game, but then people figured out that you could just basically use a Sharpie and make the little codes on the bottom and play the cards without buying them, and that pretty much killed off that game. But that game was actually really cool and really revolutionary for its time, and even the battle system was pretty cool. I really liked that. I wish that went somewhere, or somebody would come out with something like that, like a virtual reality card game. Then Spellweaver, that was alright. I didn't play that much. And Hearthstone, yeah, I played that a lot until RNG absolutely killed it. I think I stopped playing around the time where the shield guy came out, where he could summon you any random taunt minion, and like everybody ran it, and depending on who got the better taunt minion was usually in a good spot, and I really hated that. I mean, I played through the Dr. Boom RNG, and that was bad, and the Knife Juggler RNG, and that was bad, but I mean, I put up with it because the rest of the card game was really fun. And then Hex. Hex is just basically a wannabe Magic the Gathering game, and you can't really get anywhere without actually buying booster packs. Like, they want you to buy booster packs, but it doesn't really have any value but in the game, so I didn't really like that. I mean, it's not like I have the paper cards. Like, I still have a lot of my Naruto cards and could play with them if I wanted, but if the servers ever go down in Hex, I'm never going to be able to play that game, and the player base is so low, I'm surprised that game is still going. Then Kingdoms is, you can play that on Congregate. It's actually really cool. I don't know how the player base is doing nowadays because it was dying when I played it and there wasn't that many people left, but it was really fun. Like, it was so low player base that everybody in chat pretty much knew each other. But it's a really unique and fun game. Can't remember exactly how it was played, but I played it a lot, so I know it had to have been fun. Then you could get like into draft mode and tournament modes and stuff and win cards that way. Then Elements is also on Congregate. Really not that fun of a card game, but back when I was playing online card game, well, when I started playing online card games, it was like one of the only ones. Then Eternal's really fun. If you haven't tried Eternal, and they suck at marketing, so I mean, not many people know about Eternal. Eternal is amazing and really free to play friendly. So if you haven't tried that, I'd give that a try. Yeah, Eternal, just really fun. Then Lies of Astaroth, which, I mean, I said I wouldn't include games like Urban Rivals or Urban Arena, but Lies of Astaroth is sort of different because there was actually a lot of thought going into the deck building, even though you only had like 5 cards. Well, just a few cards that you played with. But that game is actually kind of fun, and they're usually pretty generous. And then, of course, Gwent, because I do Gwent videos, so big surprise, I play Gwen online. Yeah, that's pretty much all the card games I've played. I'll probably come out with a story time videos about some crazy stuff that happened at tournaments and stuff, because you guys might find them amusing. And then the last question, which I actually already answered, is how to beat the famous Dwarfs deck right now by Jeff Ton from Jeff Ton. Yeah, Dwarfs, this was 2 weeks ago too, right when the Dwarf hate was starting to come in. Swears, if they're not running Mahakam Guard. So, I mean, if you're playing Dwarfs, I suggest running Mahakam Guard so that way Swears doesn't kill you. But if you're trying to beat Dwarfs, then Swears helps you if they're not running Mahakam Guard, because you Swears away their Mahakam Skirmishers, and then they have no Dwarfs left, and everything's like dead in their deck. So that's an easy way to beat them. Besides that, Consume has the highest win rate against Dwarfs for sure. So Consume deck or Axeman. You can take a stab at Axeman, try to beat them that way. That's that's about all the ways to beat dwarfs, and try to play around that Evereth and Ethelyn, which is really hard to do at the same time, trying to keep your guys about 1-2, and at the same time, because you're usually using your starter cards to stop that, and then trying to keep yourself out of a good Evereth range, which why those two cards together are just crazy and ran in every dwarf deck. So yeah. Oh wow, this one made it in just in time as I was making the video. I mean, nobody's commented on this for a while, so I thought it was safe, but Just Monica, Doki Doki Literature Club, oh my god. What will and then they got the profile picture of her. Oh wow. What do you think it will take to save Gwent? I don't think Gwent needs saving, because I mean, Gwen is in a pretty good spot as far as online card games go. There's plenty of card games with much lower player base that still thrive. I mean, take Hex, for example. They have such a low player base, and that game's been going forever. And I mean, they even make enough to release a console port recently that is just crap compared to the actual Hex game. But I mean, they had enough money to do that, and people still play Hex. But as far as what I think they should really change, decide where they're going with the game for sure. Because, I mean, they're just bringing in players and losing players and bringing in players with all these changes. Because people get used to one thing and, you see where the game's going, and then all of a sudden they do a 180 and the game's going in a total different direction. Last patch was right before the midwinter patch was the best patch I ever played on. I started playing right when it became into open beta, basically. And it was really fun then, but last patch was definitely the patch that I had the most fun with. Even the coin flip issue was sort of pretty much solved, and you could get away without running Disloyal unit almost. And yeah, you didn't really need to run a Disloyal unit, because card advantage didn't matter so much. It sort of did, but I mean, you could go 2 cards down with some decks and still win, something like Hand Buff or Consume. But I mean, yeah, Consume was busted. It's not a lie about that. Or not completely busted, but it could be pretty strong. So, yeah, I think they need to decide where they're going and just work towards that. Because they were really close with this last patch. Everything was coming together so great. Everything was pretty balanced. Every faction had a deck to play. And then this update came out and it just totally killed it. Now it's just tempo meta, and it's pretty ridiculous things are going on. But then besides that, they need to have PTR last more than 1 day. Berza said that they learned from their mistakes, so I'm really hoping that he meant learning that you can't have a 1 day PTR and then release the patch and hope everything's going to be alright. Also on that, they need to get better at hotfixing. Because, yes, CDPR has never done an online game before. So Gwen is their first online game, I'm pretty sure, and they need to know that you can't just leave things in online games where people are playing other people that are broken and just ruin the experience for people, because you can't release a new huge patch that you know is going to have problems, because they always do, because that's the way things work. If you release something like this big, with this many changes, and then just go on holiday, and right before you go on holiday and can't do anything about it, then try to rush out a hotfix. We are almost a month into the new patch, and there's still things that are broken. Slave drivers spawning, crazy amount of slave drivers is still broken. We got that guy who's a new leader apparently, but I mean, yeah, they need to be on top of hotfixes. When they're going to release a new patch, they need to be prepared to make some extra money by working overtime or something, or just and that could also be solved by having a longer PTR, because you can filter out a lot of the bugs through that, and then when it releases there won't be so many, and then it won't be such a big problem to fix. And also not starting a new Pro Ladder season while there's a ton of bugs. You need to just freeze. With how many bugs there were out, once they saw what was going on, they should have just shut down Ladder, shut down Pro Ladder, and added the days that it was shut down for onto until the next one started, because that just made everything so skewed, and that whole end of the season was horrible. I didn't even play ranked because I didn't feel like it. But also, new game mode, they need to come out with a new game mode. They're already doing that, that's fine. And they need to split up the kegs for sure. I mean, they already said they're doing that, or Burzo said they're going to be doing that later, so that's a good thing, and add more commons than rares, and legendaries, and epics, because that makes no sense. Like, why is it a common card if there is half the amount of common cards compared to the amount of legendaries, or the amount of epics, or the amount of rares? Because that makes it not not common. Besides the fact that it's common that you're going to see that low limited pool of cards, and that's kind of annoying. But I mean, I think that's just trying to counterbalance how generous they are, sort of, because you open up a lot of kegs, but it also kills the keg opening experience. So there's that, and they need to stop deleting things. like we've lost. Like, they're already in a limited design space, and they keep removing, like, unique effects, and I'm really confused why. Like, Veteran's gone, Promote's gone, Demote's gone, Orders, that old effect that you used to, whenever you played your leader, this card got played from your deck, is gone. What else is gone? Trio's gone, and that was so much fun. So, yeah, they need to stop removing those. That'd be really cool. I mean, Promote's kind of useless now because golds aren't untargetable anymore or can't be interacted with, so Promote would be pretty much useless. But, I mean, they made that change before they did the change to golds. So, I mean, Promote was out of the game before, while golds were still untargetable and stuff, so it still had a use. And then they decided to remove it, and then next patch they decided to make golds targetable. So, I mean, that things like that they need to stop doing. And they need to stop removing and changing cards just because nobody's using them in competitive scene. Like, Redzaz said that they changed, like, things like Field Medic. That was really fun. That when it used to put a card back into your deck and then play a random card from your deck. That was a really cool effect. It wasn't competitive at all, but it was fun, and people had fun with it. I had fun trying to build decks with it. They changed it because I wasn't really seeing competitive play or anything, and so they just changed it to a normal boosting card. That's just so generic, like this whole meta is, with just boosting stuff. So I mean, I really wish they didn't do stuff like that. Just because something's not seeing competitive play doesn't mean that it's not a fun or bad card per se. And I mean, Field Medic still isn't seeing play because it's still a crap effect. Because it just boosts something and it doesn't even equal out to that much bronze value. So, I mean, that's about that. And I mean, a lot of people think they need to improve on communication. I mean, communication, I like action more than communication from companies. So, I mean, they already talk a lot on the Reddit, or at least Burzo does. So, I mean, there's that, but just saying that, oh, we're working on the hotfix, that doesn't help me at all. Like, I guess it helps some people knowing that they're working on it, but obviously they're working on it because the game's so busted. But, so, or like telling me the exact date that Thronebreaker is going to come out, because they already missed the Thronebreaker date we were supposed to get at the end of the year. But obviously that's really far away now, because they gotta fix the cards, and then they gotta balance the cards, and then they gotta change the effect text on the cards so that way they make sense again. And then they gotta come out with the new game mode, because they said that's coming out before Thronebreaker, so we're probably not seeing Thronebreaker for a long, long time. But yeah, besides that, that's everything they need to change, and Gwen needing to be saved is not really a thing. I mean, you're always going to have people playing Gwen, probably. It's one of the more higher populated card games out there, because it's really unique, and I mean, I can't even compare it to another card game, because just the fact that there's no draw mechanic, and that there's no, like, resource management or anything, just makes it really unique just off that. So, I mean, and then you have people who play it because they love CDPR. So, I mean, the game shouldn't ever really die. And, I mean, they're able to host pretty big money tournaments. So, they don't think... Yeah, the game, people may see Gwen as dying. Yeah, it might get a lower player base at some times. But you're never going to be sitting there for, like, 5 minutes searching for a match. You can pretty much instantly find a match still in anywhere. So... yeah, Gwen's not dying. Gwen's not going to die, I don't think, unless you really, really screw up. I mean, they already really, really screwed up and really made people mad, and the game's still here. People are still playing it. I'm still playing it, so I don't think, yeah, I'll say it one more time. It's not going to die. But I don't think it's going to die. But yeah, that's about it for this one, guys. Thank you for the questions and really appreciate it. And yeah, this was actually kind of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, have a good one.